Chapter 17 Part 1 Logan's POV. I stirred in my sleep as stray rays of sunlight escaped the curtains and made their way to my face. I creased my eyebrows in annoyance and started opening my eyes slowly, adjusting them to the light. And when I successfully opened them, I was met with a pair of mesmerizing blue orbs looking back at me. My heart started pounding loudly inside my chest, and with no voluntary help from me, a huge grin filled my face. Eva realized that I caught her staring at me in my sleep, and she quickly averted her gaze to my chest, her face and neck turning scarlet red. I chuckled at her reaction. She pulled away from between my arms that were holding her captive against my body and sat up straight. I frowned at that and sat up myself. I was about to ask her what's wrong when she started talking softly. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to stare. I was just... I cut her off before she continued on with her babble. I placed both my hands on her cheeks and gently lifted her face up so she would look at me, and when her eyes met mine, and offered her a bright smile. Why are you apologizing? I'm all yours to stare at, and you're all mine. You're my mate, Eva. You can wear my clothes whenever you want. You can use whatever toiletries in the bathroom without asking. You can enter the kitchen and swipe it clean from all the food for all I care, I said, looking deep into her eyes, showing her how sincere I was. I had to ensure her and make it sink in that she's free now. No one will hurt her, and that she can do whatever her heart desires. This is your house now, baby girl. You're free to roam around, free to do whatever you want. And you know what the best part is? I asked as I leaned my head closer to her face, then whispered, You and I get to boss people around. I finished with a goofy grin on my face. But what she did next was something I didn't expect, though I longed for. She giggled. Her hands reached her face to cover her smiling lips as she continued giggling softly. The word happy underestimated how I felt right now. She was finally opening up to me. She's not afraid of me anymore, and this made me have a little bit of courage to ask her. Eva, would you like to take a look around the house? I asked. Her giggling stopped, and her hands left her lips. Her eyes were looking everywhere except for me. Her eyebrows creased, and her nose was scrunched up. She looked deep in thought. Her silence made me rethink my offer. Maybe it wasn't such a good idea, but remembering that the members who lived here are absent made me want to try my luck. There's no one in the house. They all left yesterday and won't be back till late this evening. The only people here are us and my parents, but they are staying in their own floor and won't meet with us, I promise. We have the house to ourselves, I pleaded, hoping that she would agree. Again, she gave no immediate answer. Her eyes that met mine during my pleading left again and roamed around the room. I was about to dismiss the idea when she looked at me. I waited for her to say something when she smiled and said, I'd love to. I returned her smile with one of my own. I quickly jumped out of bed, scooping her in my arms. She gasped at the surprise and held tightly onto me. I practically ran to the bathroom and dropped her to her feet in front of the door. Take a shower. No. Take a really quick shower. We don't want to waste another moment. I'll go get you something to wear. You should really go shopping. I started rambling excitedly. Again, I was awarded with a sweet giggle of hers, and her hands were back hiding her smiling lips. I smiled back at her. I'll be quick, was her reply as she turned and headed inside the bathroom, my eyes all the while not leaving her. She turned to look at me while closing the door. Half her body was hid behind it, while the other half visible. She was teasing me by closing it as slowly as possible, and when it was only inches away from closing completely, she started moving even slower. Her actions made me chuckle, to which she smiled widely and quickly closed the door. This was a new side of her that I still had to meet officially, and to say the least, it was adorable. I made my way to my walk-in closet, a small smile still drawn on my face. Eva still didn't have any clothes of her own except her undergarments, which Alexis brought the other day. I shamelessly opened the drawer which contained her undergarments and fished for and accidentally chose a lacy red bra and matching underwear. I smirked at my choice. I sure had a bad side of me. I went to my hanging clothes and chose a white jumper with a yin-yang sign in the middle. I picked up a pair of black sweatpants with 2 white stripes on the sides. They sure matched, but would be really huge on Eva's body. I shrugged. We have no choice, and I had no problem with it. I picked up the clothes in my hands and headed to the bathroom. "Eva, it's time," I said as I knocked on the bathroom door, a smile tugging at my lips. "I'm still not done," came her reply from inside. "Not my problem," I said, shrugging. "I'm coming in." "No," she said, alarmed, but I already had my hand on the handle. Eva's POV. When I woke up in the morning, I was engulfed in Logan's warmth. His arms were around my body, one under my head and the other draped on my waist. His chin was resting on top of my head. On instinct, my first move was to jump out of his arms and scurry away in fear, but I quickly stopped myself. That was Logan, my mate. I know I'm still jumpy and freaked out, but I promised myself to try. I mustered up the courage with Claire, Chloe, and Alexis, and our meeting turned out well, until, of course, the pain part. I calmed myself and was soon enjoying the warmth of his body and the feeling of being in between his arms. I took my time to study his face. He looked so peaceful. His skin was tanned to perfection. His eyebrows were a bit messy, but still looked good on him. I noticed his nose was a bit pointy, but not too much, though. His cheekbones high and his jawline was perfectly angled. He had long and even lashes. His hair fell down on his forehead, the rest of it messy on top of his head. It looked so soft. All I wanted to do was play with it, but I never dared reach out so that I won't wake him up. Overall, he was perfect and completely fit to my liking. I didn't realize I was staring for more than needed, so I ended up being caught. I quickly averted my gaze and concentrated on his bare chest instead, my face probably turning red. His 8-pack was perfectly toned and flexed with each movement he made. I heard him chuckle, his body vibrating next to me. It was so embarrassing. I quickly pulled out from his grasp and sat upright in one swift movement. Logan's laughter ceased and he too sat up. I don't want him to take the wrong idea of me. I didn't really mean to stare and check him out. He might think I'm some freak. I started apologizing, but was cut off midway. "Why are you apologizing? I'm all yours to stare at, and you're all mine. You're my mate, Eva. You can wear my clothes whenever you want. You can use whatever toiletries in the bathroom without asking. You can enter the kitchen and swipe it clean from all the food for all I care," he said. His words made my heart melt. I never thought that I would actually be loved by someone like him. He was too sweet for his own good, and mine. I was about to reply when he continued. "This is your house now, baby girl. You're free to roam around, free to do whatever you want. And you know what the best part is?" He leaned in so our faces were mere inches apart. I thought he was going to try and kiss me, but then he whispered, "You and I get to boss people around." His last words made me want to laugh as hard as I could. As Alpha, he gets to boss people around, and obviously he likes it. I tried suppressing my laughter, but it turned out as giggles. Placing my hand on my mouth didn't help either. My laughter was soon halted to a stop when Logan asked me if I wanted to take a look around the house. The thought made my blood run cold, but I had to get over my fear for everyone's sake, especially mine. But I still had my doubts. What if they don't like me and start bullying me like my old pack? Logan won't be able to protect me all the time. I'll be bound to get hurt at some point. But then again, I can't just assume things. This is my second chance in life. I can't let it go to waste. Plus, it won't be so bad trying. And if things turned out for the worst, I'll just kill them all and claim this as my own territory. Logan must have taken my silence as fear from meeting the members. He must have thought that it wasn't a good idea. I was about to tell him that I'm willing to go out, but he started talking again. There's no one in the house. They all left yesterday and won't be back till late this evening. The only people here are us and my parents, but they are staying in their own floor and won't meet with us, I promise. We have the house to ourselves. He rambled on really quick. His words confused me. Why were they all out? Where did they all go? Again, Logan took my silence as a no, and from his facial expression, I was sure that he was going to abort the idea. He was about to talk, but now it was my time to cut him off. I'd love to, I said quickly, before he changed his mind about this whole thing. I offered him a small smile of my own. His face lit up like a Christmas tree, and in a matter of seconds, I was scooped up in his arms and we were out of bed. His sudden action took me by surprise, and as a reflex reaction, I gasped and held on to him tightly. He practically ran to the bathroom, then sat me down in front of it. Take a shower. No, take a really quick shower. We don't want to waste another moment. I'll go get you something to wear. You should really go shopping. He rambled on like a kid, excitement and happiness rolling off him in waves. Again, I found myself trying to muffle my laughter at his actions, only to come out as mere giggles. I never got to laugh or even smile for as long as I could remember. How the words my old pack members threw at me when I was still a laughing 10-year-old made me hate my laugh. You sound like a pig, came their mocking whenever I laughed, and when, instead of just words, I was also beaten if I laughed, I got rid of the feeling happy altogether. I shook my head inwardly, trying to get rid of the memories. I'm fine now. I'm fine. I averted my attention to the excited kid in front of me. I'll be quick, I said, and made my way to the bathroom. I hid half my body behind the bathroom door while the other was still visible. Seeing Logan all giddy and excited, I decided to play him a bit. I started closing the door as slow as possible, a smile slipping onto my face. When the door was opened only a few inches, I started moving it even slower. Logan chuckled at my actions. My face turned bright red, so I quickly shut the door. I could still hear his laughter from behind the door. I took a deep breath. Since when did I have so much courage to annoy an alpha? But Logan's words and actions toward me made me feel safe. I was never comfortable around anyone except for him. And soon enough, I was starting to feel the mate pull. He's all I need now. I stripped out of my clothes and turned on the shower. I then stepped inside the bathtub, cold water hitting my skin. I didn't wait for the water to warm up since I was used to using cold water all the time. However, the water warmed up in a couple of seconds after, relaxing my muscles and calming my body. I looked at my scarless body, still not used to it like that. Will Logan still accept me if my body was still covered in those scars? The question haunted me all the time as I scrubbed my body with some shower gel I found on the shelf to my right. I washed my body, then turned my attention to the shampoo container. Head and Shoulders. At the beginning, I debated whether I could really use Logan's things, but he told me that it was okay, that I should use them without asking, and not to mention, I needed to clean up. My last shower wasn't really a success, so technically, I haven't had a real shower in weeks. I probably smelled like a dead cat. I poured some shampoo into the palm of my hand. I placed my other hand on top of it, so some of the shampoo would stain it too. Then I got both my hands to my hair and started massaging my scalp. I was about to wash my hair when I heard a knock at the door and Logan's voice filling the bathroom. "Ava, it's time!" "No, that was fast." "I'm still not done," I replied. "Not my problem," he said. "What? I can't go out with shampoo in my hair." I was about to protest when he said, "I'm coming in." "No!" I almost yelled. He can't just come see me like that. He wouldn't, right? I heard the door handle turn. Without a second thought, I quickly grabbed the towel and wrapped it around my body. The door opened a bit, and the first thing to enter was Logan's hand holding the clothes I was supposed to wear. I looked at it in shock. He really was going to come inside. He wiggled his arm. "Aren't you going to take it?" he asked. I could hear the smirk on his face. I slowly made my way out of the tub and headed towards the door. I reached for the clothes and took it from him. He pulled his arm back and quickly closed the door, not forgetting to lock it this time. I heard Logan laugh again from behind the door. I wasted no time. I placed the clothes on one of the towel shelves and quickly proceeded to wash my hair. After making sure that I had no soap on me, I dried myself and went to put my clothes on. The clothes were curled together in a makeshift ball, so I had to shake them all free. This resulted in some red fabric to fall on the bathroom floor. I looked at it in confusion and picked it up. It felt soft. I used both my hands to spread the first piece, my face probably turning the same shade of red. I was holding in my hands some lacy red underwear. I didn't have to look at the second piece to know what it was. I can't believe Logan actually went through that drawer. This was beyond embarrassing. I snapped out of my thoughts when another knock on the door echoed. "Eva, are you okay?" came Logan's worried voice. "I'm fine," was my reply as I quickly put on the clothes. I placed the hoodie on top of my head, only covering the back 3/4 of it, and leaving the front quarter visible. My hair was still a bit wet, and the last thing I wanted was to fall sick. Not only that, but I didn't find anything to comb my hair with, and I was too shy to ask Logan for anything. So covering it with the hoodie was my only resort. I opened the bathroom door to be greeted by Logan's smiling face. "You really thought I was going to enter, didn't you?" he said, smirking. I blushed deep red and looked down. "No," I lied. Logan chuckled and took my hand in his, leading us to the door. "Time to meet the pack